There's so many of us that we sell ourselves cheap. And when you're selling yourself cheap, it's not obvious. Somebody else has to tell you most of the time. This is Hilda Baci. This young lady tried her hands on modeling and it didn't work out for her. She now decided to try her hands on cooking, something she loved as a hobby, and it seemed to work for her. She opened a restaurant, she started delivering food, and she decided to enter the Guinness World Records and she won. Her winning was spectacular. It was celebrated across the country and around the world. And I gave Hilda some tips as a PR specialist. As a public relations specialist, sometimes I'll give a tip just to educate people, even if I'm not their publicist. But these things were out there, and Nigerians were telling her to take advantage. What you notice in Nigeria is that when somebody becomes a news star, say they won BB Niger or any content this, they usually don't have the right team when it comes to public relations. Now, I give public relation tips because I see they could leverage their fame even more. Like what I said, about Hilda doing some tours around Africa. As soon as she won that cooking contest, she traveled to Ghana. I was actually in Ghana at that time when she came to Ghana, and I saw Hilda on morning TV shows. Like she was doing the rounds. She went to some radio stations, some TV stations. She was not even cooking. When you're going on a TV show for a morning show and you just won the Guinness World Record for food, that station needs to have a makeshift kitchen on their studio so I can cook something real quick for the people. There's ways things are done in PR, but they don't leverage themselves well in Nigeria, possibly because their PR people or their management don't know. Hilda was just going around talking about her win and how she did it. You're supposed to cook something. Should have gotten more endorsements and things than this if she had gotten that O visa. The O visa is the non-immigrant visas for alien of exceptional ability. I had the immigrant version of it, alien of exceptional ability in arts, in the sciences. My work with the United States Department of Education and drug-free schools, drug abuse prevention. That's how I got my green card. The O is the equivalent of it, not a green card, it's just a visa. I think it's about 5 or 10 years. It's long. Anyway, Hilda could have used that O visa. She would have gotten it as SAP, winner of Guinness. That's exceptional ability. And she would have used it to travel to like different states in America and meet American chefs. My brother is one of them. He did a residency in New York, Chef Scholler. You can Google that, Chef Scholler with the H. Shola Lunaya. But at the end of the day, I even mentioned my brother's name. I said you should go hook up with him there. You should go do a residency. You should go promote Nigerian food because that's what my brother was doing at the time. He was in a residency in New York, cooking Nigerian foods for them over there, jollof, egusi, and things. But at the end of the day, I don't know whether Hilda was listening. Her fans were listening. I don't know whether her team was listening, but people don't believe what I say. They already branded me a mad woman anyway, thanks to Davido. But at the end of the day, they don't take this advice and they lose out. Now, it got even worse for Hilda. Hilda was doing what she wanted. She was doing skits with food, with skit makers. When you're doing food skits with skit makers, both of you are making money from the traffic on the skits. Sydney Talker and others were doing skits with her. But the skit makers are going to make more money than you because their own content is actually coming off you. Hilda should have marketed herself, not with skit makers. Some people don't like international exposure, yet they enter this international contest. And then when time comes, they look like the local champion. Some people like to be local champion. I think that's what Hilda was. So now it gets worse. A young man in Ghana, when I went for what did I go for? I went to Ghana 3 times last year, but I went for the blogging awards for Ameyo Deborah. While I was there was a young man doing a cookathon. There was another lady in Ghana doing a cookathon, Falia, but she didn't make the hours of Hilda or the white guy. But this young man actually passed Hilda's hours, but he did not even register properly. He even printed his own certificate Guinness World Records. I don't know where this guy came from or what he was thinking. He printed a certificate from Guinness World Records with his name on it and told the whole of Ghana that he had just surpassed Hilda's record. He's the new winner. And some of the media went there only to discover that Guinness didn't issue it. He cheated by printing his own certificate. I mean, who has the nerves to do that? It was a public relation disgrace. And this ended the cookathon. Because of this guy in Ghana, after they disgraced him and everything, Guinness decided to end the cookathon. No more cookathons. We had a lot of cookathon. Dami had cookathon. So now, right now, there's no longer a cookathon category in Guinness. At that point, I also made a post about Hilda. Hilda, they've canceled the cookathon category, leaving you as the only African winner. Okay, if they look at Guinness World Records now and said, let's see who's won the cookathon, they'll talk about the white guy, they'll talk about you, they'll talk about the Indian lady that you won from. You're not the only African, so go and promote African foods. Travel around Africa. Get earpiece or ASCII or what's the name of it? Africa World